Hey everyone, it's MTB, and today I'm reviewing the 2018 Slender Man film. Now, in case you don't know, I am a massive fan of Slender Man and the Slender Mythos. I've been a fan of the character for years. He is a character that has always fascinated me, and to this day, he is one of my all-time favorite horror characters. Now, I know he's not as popular as he once was, but I still feel like he's an amazing horror character with so much potential, and that was just never really explored, except for like fan projects and stuff like that. So yeah, at least the original Mythos, and I guess like Slender the Arrival, which is my all-time favorite game. Of course, there's Marble Hornets, which I might talk about some other day, but today I'm talking about the 2018 film. Now, this film came out at a time where I kind of lost interest in Slenderman. Now, I know I've said I was a major fan of the character for years, but there was kind of like a time in my life where I kind of just like forgot about him. So this film kind of fell under the radar for me. But, however, like I said, I did kind of regain interest during like my teen years, because, that's... yeah, so anyway, I gained interest in my teen years, and eventually I saw the movie on TV when it was broadcasting one night. At first, I thought the film was pretty alright for what it was, but looking back on it, now I can see why people didn't really like this movie. Now, to be clear, I don't think this movie is awful. I know that's a hot take, but I think the film does have some merits to it, and there's way worse movies out there. So, I'll get the positives out of the way before I really get into the negatives. I think the best thing about this movie is the design of Slenderman. I really like how they made him like look like this actual kind of like eldritch creature. They made like his suit a part of his skin and gave him kind of like this tree bark organic look. It really helps him feel like an otherworldly entity that's basically one with the forest. I also really love the cinematography, how they gave everything this like grayish dark look, how they gave everything like this just like this really grimy just kind of like depressing look. It really fits well with the character and fits well with the like film's vibe. It really helps establish the vibe and tone of the movie. However, that's really all I can give credit to. Everything else about this movie is really not good. So the movie starts with a group of young girls who are walking through the halls of their like school, talking about like what they're gonna do over the weekend. They all eventually decide to go hang out together at one of the girls' house. That night together at the house, they were talking about like different kinds of things of like boys or shit like that. And anyway, we really don't really learn anything about these girls or anything about them as characters. They're all just kind of come off as generic high schoolers, which is something that people have criticized about this film in the past. And I can agree with. These girls are just generic high school characters. And there's really nothing that interesting about them. But anyway, one of them mentions that a couple of guys are getting together to challenge themselves to summon Slender Man. Personally, I really don't think kids are getting together to summon supernatural creatures as challenges, but regardless, girls themselves try this summoning. They find the video online, which apparently can summon Slenderman. I really like to know how that works, honestly. I'm not really sure how a video online could summon Slenderman. Did Slenderman himself post the video, or is it like someone under the influence of him? I really don't know how it works, but I guess we're not supposed to think about it too much, so they watch this video, and it gives, what the hell was that? Oh yeah. To give credit, the summoning video is a pretty good scene itself. It's pretty creepy, and I don't know, man. I did like the way like everything kind of like went crazy there for a sec with like the cinematography. Again, this film is really well shot. It's just really the story and the characters themselves that are just not good. Anyway, but I'll get to that later on. So anyway, nothing happens and the girls move on with their night. However, one of them did feel something strange. But yeah, so the next day, the girls are like on like a field trip to the park, I think. I'm not really sure where it was. They don't really specify, but anyway, as they're on their field trip, one of the girls, named Katie, seems to feel something, like a kind of presence in the nearby woods. She follows it, and it leads to her basically going missing. She's reported missing the next day. This makes the main girl, Hallie, realize it was Hallie, right? Yeah, it was Hallie. So the main girl, Hallie, realizes that something really did happen during the summoning, or she thinks it because there's really no other way to explain it. So basically, half of the main story is about the girls trying to find out what happened to Kate. And I think at first the main character is kind of like Ray, but then it like transitions to Hallie. That's the weirdest thing about this movie. At first they portray the main character as like Ray, but then like we don't see her for like half the movie, and it focuses on Hallie. So Hallie's really the main girl. I guess I'm not sure. I think it is really weird how they handle the perspective of this movie. So anyway, as like I think Hallie is like in her house, like trying to look up stuff. I remember like Kate's father breaks into the house and tries to interrogate Hallie, saying that like that she was like a part of a cult or something. But to be real, I don't know why he didn't just go to the police. I don't know why he broke into the house, and this leads to him getting arrested. So I'm not really sure what he expected, but anyway, so this leads like Hallie to thinking that Hallie and Ray, they basically then go to Kate's house where they want to get her laptop to maybe see who she was communicating with online because they think that maybe they can uncover it. We see Katie's dad again. He's at the house, and one of the main girls knocks on the door to distract him while the others sneak inside to get the laptop. To be real, I don't know how Hallie's dad got out of prison so fast. Cause like, not only did he break into someone's house, he basically assaulted a teenage girl, so he should probably still be in prison for a pretty long time, but regardless, I guess we're not supposed to think about it. This movie has so many weird, like, inconveniences and just kind of, like, I don't know, it's just not really good with, like, keeping a straight story. It's kind of all over the place. Like I basically mentioned with, like, the kind of perspective change between, like, main characters. So, like, after they get the tablet, they find out about this girl called Allison, who's no, it was like Esquita or something. But we find out it's a girl named Allison, and if you're watching this review, you've probably seen the movie, so you'll probably know that it's actually like a mentally ill patient that somehow got their hands on a computer. Which I guess they have computers in the mental. I don't know, but eventually, Hallie does more research and she starts becoming more insane, and she finds Ray again, and Ray eventually gets kidnapped by the Slender Man. And I can only be real, this is just kind of a very generic monster plot, and just, he wants us! It's not that great of a movie, at least story-wise. I don't mind it as, like, kind of just, like, entertainment, like, yeah, it's probably just because I'm a die-hard Slenderman fan, like, but to be real, the movie itself is just not that interesting. It's like, all the main characters get kidnapped at the end, and it's like, Hallie, at the end, gets absorbed into a tree, basically. So, eventually, after all hope's lost, she goes to the woods and tries to get her sister back by making a deal with Slender Man, and he accepts this deal and is ready to take Hallie, but then Hallie just runs away. I don't really know. Anyway, Slender Man takes her, and her sister, oh yeah, like, she's also after her sister, because eventually, I don't know, there was so much going on in this movie, and, like, to be real, they do a good job with, like, showcasing Slenderman and his powers. Those are the best part of the movie, seeing Slenderman on screen, and just seeing Slenderman, like, really, like, showcase his abilities. That is the best part of the movie, but I can't really even talk about the plot itself, because the plot's just so underwhelming, compared to what I think the type of potential Slenderman could have for, like, a horror mythology series. Especially when you look at, like, awesome works like Marble Hornets or Slender the Arrival or, like, many other, like, Slenderman fan creations. I know he's not as popular anymore, but I really just still believe that he's a character with so much potential, and, like, I think it's sad that nowadays he's kind of considered an irrelevant character, because I think he's someone with so much more potential. But anyway, getting back to the film itself, yeah, I guess if you're someone who just wants to watch a fun little kind of horror movie, I guess I would recommend it. Because even though people disagree on this, I don't think it's the worst thing out there. This movie does have some good merits to it, and it's something I would watch again. It's just kind of like for fun, I guess. But if we're talking about like the quality, it's really just not a good movie. It's really underwhelming. It's very generic. It's very lame compared to what Slenderman could be and how he's been showcased in past projects. Yeah, I just don't really know what else to say about it. I think it's just a underwhelming movie. It's not bad, it's just mediocre, really. And to be frank, I just think that's kind of sad because I think Slenderman as a concept could make an awesome friggin' movie, and it's just kind of sad to see where the fan base is, and just kind of like, and don't get me wrong, like that fan base has kind of made a resurgence over the years because people still talk about those type of characters. But anyway, the movie just sucks. It's not the worst thing, but it does suck as like a just a film. It's mediocre, it's bland, it's lame. It's not really a good representation of the character of Slenderman. In my opinion, you're better off just going to play Slender the Arrival because to me that's the real Slenderman movie. Like that story of that game, that's the real Slenderman movie. That's a much better story than anything this movie has to offer. Or just go watch Marble Hornets, or go watch any of the old past projects that involved Slenderman. Just don't watch this movie. If you want to watch it for fun, go ahead, but I wouldn't really recommend it. So that being said, those are my thoughts on the 2018 Slenderman movie. I will see you guys later.